If I've learned one thing from having a pet raccoon, it's that sometimes you need to do a little extra research before settling on an actual firm opinion of something. The same rings true for reviewing different types of gear, so I'm doing a follow-up video to the Fender Acoustasonic guitar. It's kind of a polarizing guitar, and the thing about some of these gear demos is usually you do them quickly. Like, I'll get the guitar, Fender sent me this, and I was like, all right, cool, and then a week later I posted a video and just kind of running through it. But you learn so much more about a piece of gear, especially a piece of gear that is kind of as interesting and just kind of different as this. So I kind of wanted to go through just, you know, a year in review of what I've learned about it, things that I do not like, things that I like, that might kind of shed some light on some questions that you have, right? So, first of all, let's do the human thing and talk about the things that I hate first, all right? I don't like a lot of the finishes that it comes in. This is the natural one, and I think this is by far the best looking one. Some of the exotic wood ones that are a lot more expensive, I think look pretty cool too. But any of the solid colors that just have the top on, I think are like kind of hideous, to be honest. Like the red one, it just looks like somebody just kind of colored over the top. So the natural one is pretty cool. I like it. It looks great on the front and the back. It does look different, which takes some getting used to, but I don't know. I feel like there's room for improvement in maybe adding some different finishes to it, right? We're gonna talk more about that in a second. But the other thing that I didn't really like initially was the strings that it came with, okay? I ended up swapping out the stock Fender acoustic strings that come with it, and I put Elixir, I think these are 12. 11, maybe they're 11s actually. Yeah, and that really improved the entire experience for me, just kind of like swapping out those strings. You can use electric or acoustic guitar strings, it'll work with both of them, but I definitely recommend coated acoustic strings just for my own personal taste, and I think it kind of just feels the best right there, okay? So those are kind of like the two main gripes that I had. I remember at first, when I saw the price and I saw that it came with a gig bag and not a hard shell case, I was like, well, this is kind of like messed up. Like, it doesn't even come with a hard shell case. I've totally changed my mind on that. I love the gig bag that it comes with. I use it all the time, and that's probably one of the reasons that this has become my go-to teaching guitar, because what I didn't think initially was if it would be loud enough just to kind of acoustically play it. Okay, let me mute this real quick for the main mic. That's how it just sounds unplugged, like relative to, like, you know, my voice in the room. And, you know, I think it definitely gets the job done for just maybe like teaching different lessons and stuff like that. And it has become my go-to guitar for teaching now when I hit the road, all right? Which isn't as much because, you know, we're in lockdown still for the most part. Even though I live in Florida and it's kind of like YOLO country, that's the other thing I wanted to talk about is like actually gigging with it. This is really kind of made, I think, with the gigging musician in mind. And since most of the shows are canceled, even though, like I said, YOLO Florida, I have the opportunity to play live shows, but I haven't really felt super great about that. So I've really just been doing most of my stuff online, but we have taken a few private gigs over the last year, right? In fact, the last one we played was New Year's Eve, this super like upscale fancy restaurant, and I was planning on taking the Acoustasonic with me, but again, it was like this kind of like fancy, like dressy kind of gig. And I do think that this just looked different enough where it kind of made me pause. And I was like, you know, maybe like the Taylor acoustic electric just seems more traditional for that. And that was just like an instance that, you know, because it wasn't a traditional thing, I ended up taking a different guitar with me, right? For better or worse, whether that was right or wrong, this is kind of like a thing that I felt just because it is kind of like a new type deal, right? Now, on to just things that I love about it. I love the sound. This is my absolute favorite position, is the third position, the B thing. Basically, there's 5 different positions, a 5-way selector switch, and there's an A and a B mode that you can blend in between. I'll go through all of them in the other demo that I did, so I'm not going to go through all of them. Basically, that middle position, I think sounds fantastic. And one of the best uses I've found for this, which you may have noticed if you followed me on my channel, is when I'm doing stuff live with another performer, or in the case of the last 2 videos with this, another musician, my buddy Pasha playing violin. where we have to mic him up, it is perfect for that because I can put a microphone on him. We have two essentially acoustic instruments, but I'm running the DI out into the recording interface. So it's loud enough where my buddy Pasha can still hear me, and we can still kind of like play off each other in real time without having to use headphones, but it's quiet enough where there's not that much bleed into his microphone where I can still EQ his microphone a little differently, right? And I think the sound of those really turned out great, and I think it's just great that we can do it live without really having to do like a lot of setup or having to wear headphones, all right? So again, I really love that third position, A or B, either way. The thing I'm not crazy about is position 5B. I always think of, on a Strat, position 5 in the neck as being like the go-to money shot position for me. So it's almost weird not having that be my favorite position. In fact, I actually forgot that it wasn't in position 3 on another video. It ended up sounding like this. I was like, I wish I would have had that position. Again, it doesn't sound bad, but I think position 3 just kind of like blows everything else away from the positions that I've played. As far as like the electric stuff, right? Like this is like a full electric. Definitely sounds like an electric, but even the clean stuff, I found myself not really using that as much as maybe I thought I would have initially. Not that it doesn't sound good, but there is just something weird about having it feel like an acoustic guitar and then hearing an electric guitar, okay? So again, just kind of more of that. Some people have asked me like, well, does it play like an electric? Does it feel like an acoustic? What does it feel like? I definitely think it feels more like an acoustic because there are acoustic strings on it. To me, that's like the most defining characteristic of like how I feel I'm playing it, right? Acoustic strings make me feel like I'm playing an acoustic guitar. Now the neck definitely seems more like an electric guitar neck, and I feel like it's super fluid, came set up great, didn't have to adjust anything. It sounds amazing, no buzzing anywhere. So top-notch, killer job by them. But I definitely don't feel like I'm playing an electric guitar. It just feels like I'm playing a slim body acoustic guitar until I'm actually standing up and I have it strapped. Then it's like, oh, this is totally just an electric guitar, and that is huge for me. And that's why, when eventually we do start playing more live shows again, for some of the marathon gigs, this is going to be great because I prefer to stand and play when we're out doing it, and it's just so light, and it's fantastic. And another really big pro is not having to worry about a 9-volt battery. I have some kind of like paranoia that a 9-volt battery is just going to die on me during a show, even though it's never happened. It's something I always worry about. I probably only use 20% of a 9-volt battery's life before I end up like replacing it out of sheer paranoia. So the great thing is you can charge it with the USB and it lasts for 20 hours. And then you can actually also, even if worst case scenario, you can play it while it's charging too in real time. And the cable that they give you is great. So really no complaints there. But yeah, it's awesome. Now the price is another factor. This one currently it's selling for like $2,000. At first I thought that was high, but then it's like, I feel like a price is relative to like what it's worth to you. You know what I mean? I have guitars that are more expensive than this, and I reach for this more than I do other guitars, right? From a recording standpoint, it's awesome just to really be able to plug direct in and very quickly get a really usable, decent acoustic guitar sound without having to worry about setting up microphones. I always prefer the sound of a mic'd up, full body acoustic guitar. Don't get me wrong, I still think that's a better sound to my ear than a DI, but as far as DIs go, this one's the best, hands down. And I've played other high-end ones, and I like this one the best for sure. So it's cool that you can just plug in and get it really quickly. All right, so I'm gonna actually just I put together a song with Andrea that I think kind of captures the best of both worlds for this, where you kind of have like an acoustic guitar, a pure acoustic guitar sound, just kind of like holding down the whole track, but then using the electric pickups to kind of play something more electric guitar oriented. And I hope you enjoy it. But yeah, definitely, again, full disclosure, they sent it to me. So I didn't actually buy this with my own money. But if I did, I would not have regretted it. And I think that kind of tends to be really the overwhelming thing when you talk to Acoustasonic owners, that they just love it, right? It's just great to kind of just pick up and kind of noodle around with. Like I said, it's become my go-to teaching guitar. The gig bag is fantastic. It kind of gives me vibes of the best gig bag ever made. Those who know that the John Mayer signature Strat in-case gig bag was like the best gig bag ever created, and that ruined regular gig bags for me from until I started using this one. So again, it's a great bag. I prefer this to actually having another Fender hardshell case, and you know, if it's worth it, that's something only you can answer, because again, that's kind of relative to the person purchasing it. Initially, I thought it was a little bit overpriced, but now that I've played it, it's like, yeah, I totally get it. Plays great, and I'm definitely happy to have it in my arsenal, and I'm going to have it for a long time. So enjoy the song, and if you have any questions, let me know.
I didn't know what I was missing, and how much I shook off when I came to my feet. And noticed to come out of hiding wasn't my plan. I try to keep simple, let all the colors dull, unsteady, till I'm ready. I swore that I found every fun I fall through. On the way down, and took